everybody, Nico here, and now a question that the FNAF community has been answering for quite a while now is, what exactly is the best FNAF game? And that's what this video is all about. Hello everybody, Nico here, and welcome to my FNAF ranking video. Now, in this video I'll be ranking every single FNAF game, worst to best. Now, with that said, let me explain a few things. One, just because you see a game that you really like on the bottom of the list, that doesn't mean it's bad in any way, shape, or form. It just means that I don't really think it's as good as any of the other FNAF games, at least in my opinion, which is the other thing I wanted to explain real quick, is that this is opinion based, meaning that this is gonna be based on my opinion. So if you see something that you personally think is completely wrong, well, good for you. That's your opinion, not mine. So don't want to hear any ranting in the comment section below, because this is my opinion. And finally, this is also going to be only canon games. So games like FNAF World or the FNAF 3 Troll game or even the Sit and Survive FNAF edition. Those are not going to count whatsoever, as they take place in their own separate timeline or alternate universe. So with that said, let's begin the video with our first game. Coming in at dead last at number 9, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, otherwise known as FNAF 6. Now, in terms of lore, this game is actually really good in terms of lore, actually. As it's supposed to be a wrap-up of the series. It's supposed to be an end. Henry finally is able to capture the rest of the souls, trap them here, and burn down the place, destroying everything that has to do with the souls and the kids and all that. But, of course, it wasn't the end, of course, as we all know, that Scott can just never stop doing these, which I am thankful for, because I'm glad it did not end with this, because, well, let's just get this straight. The gameplay is what throws this down for me. Now, the whole gimmick of running your own pizzeria is fun and all. Like, getting to own your own pizzeria, it's fun. It really is fun. You get to buy your own animatronics, your stage, stuff like that, and basically just run your own company in a way. But it does get boring after a while, and the nights just get worse. Like, the actual nights, the in-game nights, when you're actually trying to survive, it's all over the place. Like, you literally get to choose your difficulty by either choosing not to or to salvage the animatronics. Which, whether or not you complete the salvage, as long as you actually do the salvage, you're basically letting in another animatronic into your building. So, depending on whether or not you do a salvage or not, that determines the difficulty of the game. Even accepting the sponsorships can give you a risk of death, especially if you have an animatronic in the building with you, as they can throw ads onto your computer while you're doing your work. Now, there really isn't no linear way to play this game difficulty-wise, as you really just get to choose your difficulty. But even with that gimmick, it's still relatively hard, as not even I've been able to survive more than 2 animatronics in this building with me, as I can barely just survive with having 1 animatronic in this building with me, because it's very unclear what you're supposed to do when you're looking at the vents or knowing exactly when an animatronic is going to be right there. But yeah, the gameplay is really why this is on the lowest of the list. But with that said, let's just get right into number 8. And in number 8, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. Now, again, in terms of lore, it's still really good. Like, the lore is like one of the biggest things about this series, of course. And the lore is pretty much not going to be that bad in any of these games. And the lore behind this is obviously that you're in your own purgatory. You're playing as the purple guy in hell. And this is his personal little hell, of course. And, well, that's pretty much where the good things go away, because in terms of gameplay, it really is fun. Like, if you're a person that likes a literal ultimate custom night, like choose your own difficulty, choose how many animatronics you want to be in the night with you, then that's cool. Yeah, like, I enjoyed it for a while, but it just gets to that point where you just can't even play the game anymore. As in, like, you have of course, the point system. You get to unlock new offices. There's the challenge modes, of course. And of course, the power-ups like the DD repels, or starting with extra coins, or being in a timid airspace and stuff like that. But like I said, it gets to a point where you can't even play anymore. You get to a high enough point value that you can't even beat any more knights upon how you've beaten, if that even makes sense at all. But yeah, it gets to a point where it's just too difficult. And even with the challenge modes, a lot of the challenge modes are easy, but a lot of them are hard. Like, I've only beaten around half of the challenge modes myself. So, but I'm at that point where I can't even play this game anymore unless I have to get gameplay like I did right here. But yeah, FNAF Ultimate Custom Night is second to the lowest on this list, but still definitely worth a play. None of these games are really that bad and definitely deserve their own credit in their own ways and are creative in their own ways. So yeah, definitely play this game and any of the others on this list if you can. So anyways, on to number 7. And in the number 7 spot, we got Five Nights at Freddy's VR, otherwise known as Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Now, sorry for the gameplay. I stole it from Mark. Make sure to go check his channel and subscribe. I couldn't get any gameplay for this since I don't have the VR headset for my PC, so please just bear with me. Anyways, FNAF VR is cool. It has its own, of course, it has its own lore. You're playing as a game designer, and there are some theories on if you're either playing as Vanny or Vanessa from FNAF Security Breach, or if she's the one on the tapes. The theories they get really convoluted with this game, but anyways, but this game actually is really good in terms of gameplay. This is when we start turning the curve into the really good FNAF games. Not saying that the other ones are bad, of course, just they don't compare to these other FNAF games, in my opinion at least. So, FNAF VR is basically a nostalgia trip. It's a lot of the FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's games remastered, and, well, it does a really good job in this. It's virtual reality as well, and this doesn't mean you won't see new things though, such as 3D models, the movement of the animatronics being present, new animatronics such as the baby plushes, the monster endoskeletons, and of course Glitch Trap. But yeah, you also will see new gameplay in new modes such as the vent repair, dark rooms, and my personal favorite, parts and service. And now, if you're gonna remaster a game or your series in any way possible, this is the best way to do it. Like, they went all out with this, and I really, really enjoyed this. I would gladly play this again, and if you do not have a VR headset, this is worth the gameplay. Like, I played this on my PS4. I really love it, and I'm about to crack up because of how frantic Markiplier is getting, so I'm just gonna move on to the next spot. Number 6, Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Yep, now we're starting to get into those OG FNAF games. Now, the reason why this is probably at the lowest of the OG FNAF games is mainly because there's no problem with it at all, but the main problem for me is, at least, it's too scary. I don't find myself playing this as much as the other games, even though the Nightmare animatronics are probably one of, if not my most favorite animatronic designs in the entire franchise. But yeah, this is definitely the scariest FNAF game in the whole entire series, at least in my opinion. The way it is set up in this child's room, the fact that you gotta listen for breathing in completely dark hallways, and don't know if anything is going to be literally inches away from your face. And the fact that these animatronics can breathe right in front of your face is just creepy. And the only way to defend yourself from these guys is, of course, to use your flashlight. Shine the flashlight at the Freddles. Close the wardrobe for Foxy. Or close the doors if you hear breathing for Bonnie and Chica. And honestly, this game is really solid and is definitely in the middle of the pack in terms of this list. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good scare, this is definitely the game to go for, because I had some trouble with this. Because there's a day doesn't go by that I play this and I don't get scared, because I'm guaranteed to at least get a heart attack at least once when playing this game every now and then. So yeah. Anyways, on to the number 5 spot. In the number 5 spot, we have Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Because now we're getting to the actual OG games, of course. Now, the only reason I say this is probably higher than FNAF 4, even though people have their problems with this game, saying that it's too boring, or the jump scares are lackluster. I honestly don't have a problem with it. The thing that really shines here is lore, and is actually one of the very first FNAF games to actually give us more closure with the story, as we get more storytelling in this in the form of not super rare Easter eggs, such as the mini games in between nights and stuff like that. And of course, the secret screens with Springtrap. And yeah, this game is just really cool. I love how you gotta use the audio to keep Springtrap away, which aka is also known as the purple guy, the killer, the man behind the slaughter, which makes sense because, well, he's a child murderer. So using child sounds to distract them is genius. And I like the only thing I can say that I dislike about this is mainly Phantom Foxy, as he's the only main problem with the game, as he can just, there's no way to stop him. There's no way of telling when he spawns there, and it can be really annoying on higher nights like night 5. But other than that one small quality, this game honestly is really good, at least in my opinion. And of course, some people say it's boring. I think it's boring for its own good, actually, because Scott Cawthon, when he did his interview with Doggo, he said that he wanted FNAF 3 to be more one-on-one, which is exactly what this is. Literally just us versus Springtrap, aka the main villain of the series, which I thought was epic. That's a cool way to express this game into words. But anyways, let's get into our number 4 spot. Now, in the number 4 spot, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Now, where to start with this game? This game was somewhat a revolution to the FNAF series. A lot more story. They added so much dialogue. The lore is expanded much more with this game, as there are now voice actors for each of these animatronics, such as Baby, Ballora, Freddy, and of course Funtime Foxy. Well, we don't really hear Funtime Foxy until Ultimate Custom Night, but we're gonna refrain from that. Anyways, FNAF Sister Location is a literal revolution. Did so many things, gave us much more lore. It gave us voice actors, like I said, more story, and it was semi-free roam, which was definitely new to the Five Nights at Freddy's formula, and so different from the FNAF formula that we are currently used to of just sitting and surviving. But with that said, don't expect not to see a FNAF segment, as in the end of the game, if you try to get the good ending and get to this private room, you literally get a callback to the original Five Nights at Freddy's with these doors and protecting yourself from Ennard. Now, this was one of my personal favorite FNAF games to date. I just love Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. And you're not even just sitting and surviving anymore. You're actually doing objectives such as fixing Freddy or returning power to the other places of this complex through the breaker room, while you're also being hunted down by the animatronics, which was a cool blend and cool concept, and I love to see more of this in the future. Anyways, let's get into the number 3 spot. Okay, now we're in the top 3. And in number 3, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Now, let me just say, this game was wholesome. This game was amazing. There's a lot I want to talk about this, but I gotta cut it short, of course. Now, in terms of lore, there's a lot of secrets, of course, but it's more reframed on the gameplay. It's finally full free roam, which is really cool. Now, the whole concept of having Freddy help you get through all this, as it's literally just one night, which is awesome. And with the free roam, of course, you have a lot of things going for you. And this is literally like basically a FNAF story mode, really, as you're traveling through the Pizzaplex. And you're not just trying to survive and avoid these animatronics as you try to escape, but you're also trying to find secrets of the complex. And this game was just really cool with its mechanics of you have a camera with you, and don't be refrained from and don't forget that this is still a Five Nights at Freddy's game. There's a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's moments in this, such as the security. There's some security offices that you have to do a sit and survive from animatronics such as Roxy and Montgomery. There's a lot of new animatronics such as the security bots, the mop bots, and so much more, like the Sun, Moon, DJ Music Man, and so much went into this game. And it's very obvious that Scott Cawthon and Steel Studios went all out with Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I really enjoyed it. I would be happy to play this game multiple times over and over again. Freddy being the main reason for this. Freddy's just a wholesome character in this game. Is definitely my number one most favorite animatronic in the whole entire franchise now. And honestly, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach will always hold a special place in my heart as my most personal favorite FNAF game of all time. But with that said, of course, we still have two more on the list. And last thing I wanted to say about this real quick, though, is, of course, you have that very cool plot twist canon ending with Burn Trap, or whatever you would like to call him, returning, and you having to do a final battle with him one last time as the broken down animatronics come after you. But anyways, with that said, let's get into the number 2 spot. Coming in the number 2 spot, we have the original OG Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Now this game coming out, it revolutionized the horror game the horror game industry. This game was so much different than any of the other horror games of 2014 and got immediate praise as it came out as one of the, if not the most, best horror games of the time. And it's just, this game is so amazing. This is where it all started. The original pizzeria, FNAF 1, the OG animatronics, not knowing how iconic these animatronics would become, having so many iterations like FNAF 2, 3, 4, Sister Location, not knowing how much praise this would get. This game was amazing. It's simple, but it works so well. Lore-wise, it's amazing. With the whole lore is amazing. Just, it's all given to you very, very lightly. Like, you're given light hints in the right direction of its lore, like the phone guy talking about the bite of 87, or saying that the animatronics used to be able to move during the day, and of course the whole Golden Freddy Easter egg, or the Secret Clippings Easter egg about how this place is going to close at the end of the year, 5 missing children being reported, and yeah. Nothing's gonna, this is where it all started. There would be no FNAF games without FNAF 1, and this is the perfect spot for Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This, I cannot just, I literally cannot play this game without thinking of the nostalgia I have for this game when it first came out. Watching Markiplier as a kid play this, I was so unbelievably scared to even watch. Like, I'll always have fond memories of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and definitely deserves a spot. Thank you, Scott Cawthon, for making the series. Rest in peace, man. I hope you're having an amazing time with your family. Anyways, let's get into the number 1 spot. Now, here it is. The number 1 spot. Can you guess it? I've mentioned every single game but one. But yes, I truly think this is the best Five Nights at Freddy's game in the series, at least in my opinion. So without further ado, here is the number 1 spot. Congratulations to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is, where do I begin to start? Well, I guess I can start with where this is placed in terms of game order. The sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's 1 was an extremely huge success. The moment trailers of FNAF 2 came out was just astronomical. Just all the reviews, all the trailers, and the reactions to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Everyone was hyped to see this game be revamped and come back again. And honestly, I'm one of those fans of this game and thought I was too excited for this game when I heard there was going to be a second game coming out in the same year Five Nights at Freddy's 1 aired. Now, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, in terms of lore, it had more lore. It paid more attention to the bite of 87, which was mentioned the most in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. And this game just implemented much more. More animatronics, the introduction of the toy animatronics, of course, having the Wither animatronics, and of course the introduction to the Marionette and the Balloon Boy. And the gameplay, it's chaotic, but it's fun. It's amazing. This game is also iconic. It's the second only game to come out. In terms of story order, this is a prequel to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, as it takes place literally in 1987, the events of the bite of 87. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg, as Scott Cawthon decided to go all out with lore as well, such as adding new Easter eggs, new death mini games, and of course hidden screens. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's fun. The animatronics are amazing. Having no doors was a huge surprise, and another huge surprise was having to use the mask to fool the animatronics, and of course the introduction of the puppet and the music box being so much more creepier. And this was definitely deserves the #1 spot. I cannot play this game without just enjoying it so much. I can play this game time after time after time. But yeah. Anyways, that's going to conclude this Five Nights at Freddy's ranking video. Was I right? Was I wrong? What do you think is the best Five Nights at Freddy's game? Let me know that and more in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button so you never miss a video. And, well, make sure to, of course, support. Give me all your support. It's really appreciated. This actually took a while to get gameplay of, and, of course, edit and make. And I've had so many different bloopers for this. So, anyways, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed the ranking video. Let me know in the comments below what you think is the best Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, and if I was right or wrong about this list. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!